Lizzie thinks I'm in like some hot girl summer thing. I got my Stanley.
And your puppy.
Got my pretty dog. And whatever those things are.
The boo-boos.
Trolls. Anyway, welcome back to A Bus and Beyond, and in today's video we're going to look at a different style of power bank actually, aren't we? Oh, boring you already, are we? A different type of power bank. This is much smaller than the previous ones that we've sort of shown. This is the EcoFlow River 3. I think this is probably aimed at sort of maybe going away if you take a tent in your car and you need something to power sort of laptops, your phone a few times throughout your weekend. Before we actually open it, let's have a look at the box. On the top, it says EcoFlow River 3 by EcoFlow. This side has just got some warnings about lithium batteries and stuff. On here, it says it's a 600 watt, and that's when it's under surge power. So, you know, temporarily it's up to 600 watt. The actual size of the battery is 245 watt hours. You know, we've been testing sort of kilowatt hour power banks and also 2 kilowatt hour power banks. So this is much smaller, a bit more manageable. And you can also charge it via solar. So we'll have a look at that. It's got a few sort of stats on here of what you can do with it. So for example, if you're charging a phone via USB-C, you can charge that around about 17 times at if it's an 11 watt hour phone charging. The actual device is 3.5 kilos, nice and light. It can take, what does that say? 1 hour to fast charge it back up to full. Looks like it's nice and quiet at less than 30 decibels. We'll test all this. And also there's like uninterrupted power supply settings where it can where it can quickly switch over to battery backup. And interestingly, it's also like well, it says waterproof rated battery. IP54, I would guess, I'd say more like water resistant, really, splash proof. So yeah, probably ideal for a bit of festival camping in a tent. Yeah, where anything can happen. Well, you're having a hot girl summer. And then on this side, this is kind of a bit of a spoiler. It shows you everything that's on it. You've got 5 outlets, but we'll have a look at all that in more detail when we actually get the device open. And then on here, it sort of gives you a rough idea of like the kind of things you can do with it. So for example, if you're on a road trip, RVing, camping, you can run a car fridge for three and a half hours, electric blanket for nearly 2 hours, a car vacuum. So yeah, I think it's probably a bit more suited to things like charging phones and charging iPads, that kind of stuff.
Can I test my new Shark fan on it then?
Yeah, we can try out the Shark fan as well, but Lizzie's very excited about her Shark fan. Yeah, and then like outdoor recreation, like I say, this is probably more what it's aimed at. For example, you can run an air pump, you know, if you're inflating air beds, or even the actual tent itself for 5 hours. You know, that's a big tent. You could recharge your camera 10 times. So yeah, I think that's what it's aimed. Electronic devices is what it's more aimed at. Anyway, let's open it up and have a look. I need like one of those big knives they have on unboxing videos. Not that you're allowed them in the UK. I always love how EcoFlow package their devices. I don't know what it is about the polystyrene, it just feels really good quality. Let's have a look at the first bit. So we've got quick start guide. Who needs instructions? I think this will be sort of cables and stuff. EcoFlow written on there. Power a new world. So yeah, so you do get a power adapter for charging it. This is your cigarette lighter, you know, car charger. So you can charge it up when you're driving along. That's quite neat. That's very useful, exactly for those scenarios. And you get this little free packet of seasoning. It's not really, don't eat that. And then we'll take this out. Gosh, this is tiny. I don't know why I was expecting it to be so much bigger. How cool is that? I was just expecting it to be so much bigger. This is a relatively small phone.
Why don't you use a Labubu?
Because no one knows what they are. Yeah, so it's really good size. Right, let's power it on and see how much battery we've got. 30%, that's good because we can show it charging up. But let's run through it. So we've got the display nice clear display. We're not doing anything at the minute, so we've got 30% and it says the battery will last for 25 hours, just doing nothing obviously. You also have an input and an output display in wattage, so really basic display. Input, when you charge it, it'll show you how much wattage is being pumped into the battery, and then output, obviously the complete opposite. When you are discharging the battery, it'll show you how many watts you are discharging the battery. Then you have like the two different sides. Firstly, AC, so this will run the inverter if you turn on the AC power. So that's it turned on, and you'll actually see the amount of time drop, because just naturally, whenever you run an inverter, it does actually waste energy, just because they're inefficient. Typically, it's, prove me wrong, it's not actually dropped. But yeah, naturally it will waste energy, because running an inverter is an inefficient way really of actually powering devices. So if, for example, you are charging a mobile phone, let me show you here. You have, obviously, for most mobile phone chargers, you have a USB A or C plug that plugs into a power adapter. But in a device like this, you are better off plugging the USB plug straight into 12 volt and powering it that way, so you don't have to run the inverter. Whilst we're talking about the 12 volt side of things, let's just turn that off. You have two USB A sockets and then one USB C socket in the middle. USB C is much more powerful than USB A, so you'll charge your phone much quicker. Provided the phone can take it, you'll charge your phone much quicker using USB C than the USB A's. And there's sort of a gradual switch across to use USB C just as it gets more popular. And then on this side you have your DC socket, your 12 volt socket, which is just like the cigarette lighters you find in most cars. What will be interesting is, so you've got a DC on and off button and an AC on and off button. It'll be interesting to see if these are always on, these USBs, and you need to switch this on or not, because it's kind of, the way this box is showing kind of makes it look like that's just to switch that and that's just to switch that, but we'll have a look in a minute. And then as we run around the side, on this side, just got an air vent. These can get quite warm whenever you're charging them up, because they draw quite a bit of power. A handy handle, it's really light, 3.5 kilos. It actually doesn't feel as heavy as 3.5 kilos, but then yeah, it's 3.5 kilos according to the box there. And then on this side is your input. So you use your AC power adapter, which you just plug in there. So this comes with it, and then you plug that into a wall outlet. And then the other one is for if you wanted to charge it via your 12 volt socket. So this is inside your car. You plug that in there, and then you plug that into the car. You can also, if you have a solar panel, solar panels usually come with the cables that are required to charge it up, and you can plug that into there, the same socket. I think these are called, like, they're either XT60 or XT90s, I think, depending on the size of them. I can't remember what that one is, but yeah, a lot of solar panels come with those types of plugs, and then yeah, you'll be able to charge it via solar. Let's have a look then at charging. So yeah, we've got this plugged in. I've got a little plug down here. This is already turned on. As soon as I plug this in, it should start charging. There we go. It's just clicked. So it's just clicked, and there we go. It says it is ramping up the wattage, 130 watts, slowly ramping it up, and it will take 1 hour. This now changes this display. Rather than the time it's going to take to discharge the whole battery, it's now telling you the time it will take to fully charge it. So far at the minute, I cannot hear it charging at all. I can't hear the actual device at all. But we'll give it a bit of time, see if it ramps up a bit. Also, whilst we're here, let's have a bit of a test of the USB plugs. Have you got your phone, Lizzie, so I can charge? Does anyone else get annoyed with like the constant changing of types of socket? So mine's one of the older iPhones, therefore it's Lightning. Now they've swapped over to USB-C, and I think they are supposed to, everyone's supposed to be on USB-C, but we've got USB-A on this side. It's like never ending. Right, let's plug that in there, and we'll see if these are always on these USB sockets. Right, yeah, so the USB sockets are always on. That is now charging. So it has increased a bit more. It's doing nearly 150 watts of input. Is that because I plugged that in? Is it doing a pass-through? Sometimes these devices do pass-through where the power is basically goes straight through the device. No, it is charging at nearly, well, 145, nearly 150. That makes no difference. So yeah, so this will charge pretty slowly using USB-A. It'd be much quicker if we used a USB-C plug, but it is charging. Conversely to that, we can also show what it looks like if you want to charge using the 3-pin plug. So take that out, plug that in there. I quite like the fact that it's upside down. There's so many plugs, like long, or the cable comes out the bottom. So if you had this sat on the floor and you had it this way, it might foul on the bottom of the actual box, so you wouldn't be able to lay the box flat. So yeah, I think that's quite good. Turn that on. There we go. So it's starting to increase. Oh look, it's actually, the input is now 320 watts. Wow, it's really ramped up now then, hasn't it? Is that because that's doing pass-through or not? No. Don't think so. Oh, it is doing a bit of pass-through. It jumps up a bit. Yeah, interesting. So the power increases a little bit. So I think there may be some setting where, because this is plugged in and charging, it is sending some of the power straight through to the plug. I may be incorrect there, but it seems to be, because it's increasing the wattage as soon as I turn this on. It's charging much faster now. It actually says it's going to be fully recharged in 5 minutes. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, I'm reading it upside down. 50 minutes. I was thinking the maths doesn't work out. Yeah, don't read it upside down. It's going to be 50 minutes to fully charge. I thought, anyway, yeah, 50 minutes to fully charge, which, as it says on the box, you know, it can take an hour. This has got 30% of battery already on it. We're now charging, I think this is probably about the speed that it will charge. Let's have a quick look in the box, in the packaging. Let's see. Okay, so just running through the stats here. So yeah, if you're using solar power as the way of charging it, it'll take a maximum of 110 watts. So it'll take about 2 hours to fully charge if you can get the maximum solar. Via the car charger, again in the side there, maximum of 100 watts, again just over 2 hours to fully charge. And then it looks like it's about 300 watts is the fastest you will be able to charge it via AC, but it can also do a bypass mode of 300 watts. So even if you're fully charged, you can run your device, 300 watt device, directly through, and it'll bypass the actual charging and go straight into your device. It's expected that it will last. It will still have over 80% of the battery capacity after 3,000 cycles. So that's a lot of charging. And interestingly, you can actually use all these devices together at the same time to give a maximum total output of power of 550 watts. That's pretty beastie actually for such a small device. And it is still completely silent. I can't hear it making any noise at all while it's charging. So 30 decibels is obviously extremely low. What's that equate to? The sound of a mouse walking through a corridor. And it has a bit of information here about the different solar panels that are available. They do a little 45 watt solar panel.
Can we see if my fan will work?
Yeah, go get the Shark fan. Check that out. That's a bit of a beast, isn't it? Lizzie's got this new Shark fan that she's very excited about, but she wants to check that she can still charge it on a campsite using this little device. And this is powered by, it's got a battery inside, but it's powered by 3-pin plug. So let's plug that in. Where's this plug into, Lizzie? Right. Do you know what wattage it is?
I think it's about 60.
Well, we'll find out. Right, so we've got it plugged in. Let's have a look. Let's turn on the power. So it's taking 14 watts at the minute. I think we'll be all right.
Turn it up.
Oh, 16, 19. Back down again. 17, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, not really testing this, I'm afraid. So we'll leave the fan on full, unplug the actual device. We've got 57% of battery and it will last 5 hours. So yeah, you're looking at about 10 hours with it on full. So yeah, you could run your fan for a long time. And that's actually charging up the battery, and the internal battery, isn't it? So I don't know how much wattage it would take if it was fully charged and it was just actually running the fan. But basically, it can run a fan for a long time. So there we have it. That is the EcoFlow River 3. Really neat little device, isn't it? It's tiny. I think that's really cool. Really useful for like festivals, beach days, just sort of working in the garden, that kind of stuff.
Hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer, as Lizzie keeps saying. So if you're interested in getting one of these, please click on the link in the description below. There is a discount code down there as well, so make sure you use that. It is actually EcoFlow's summer sale, so bag yourself a bit of a bargain. Yeah, let us know what you think. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out. And thank you so much for watching. Please hit that thumbs up button and we'll see you in the next video.